Johnson Controls, and Emmanuel Daniel with Microsoft. Good to have you both.
Absolutely.
How are you doing this morning?
Good.
Very good.
Good. Well, first of all, I'd like to know a little bit more about what you guys are doing together. What is the partnership between Johnson Controls and Microsoft?
Sure, I can start, Lisa. Thanks for having us here. As part of my role in OpenBlue, right? OpenBlue is our integrated solution set for smart building solutions, working as part of an open ecosystem of both our inbuilt solutions as well as our partner providers. We are focused on 4 primary goals, helping our customers achieve their goals for sustainability, for asset health, predictive maintenance, occupant experience, healthy buildings, and then basically providing that smart building platform where they can go build their own experiences as well. And that's core to our partnership with Microsoft as well, right? We have been partners for a long time, right? Both customers of each other. We use Azure significantly as part of deploying our cloud-based technologies. And in turn, we are deploying our solutions to a lot of Microsoft locations, office locations, as well as our joint customers, right? And again, helping them achieve similar goals.
Okay, all right. Emmanuel, what was, OpenBlue is a fairly new offering for Johnson Controls, correct? What was it about OpenBlue that was intriguing for you? And and how did that sort of address some of the challenges and needs that you had at Microsoft?
So, I think, Lisa, when you look at it and you look at a building, in addition to what Vineet said, how we work together, the biggest value for us is how can we drive more value from the physical assets that we have. And value for us comes in many forms. One is around experience, the other is around sustainability, the others are around increasing asset value. And then when you have to do all these things, ultimately it comes back to be able to have a platform that's able to unite all of the underlying building automation systems that you have. Buildings today are disparate jungles. You have a device and an asset from everybody. How are you going to bring all these assets together, make them work together? And ultimately our need was unifying the data and creating a seamless flow. And that's where a platform from JCI starts to come in for us to say, hey, if I have to walk into a room and have to benefit from 30, 40 systems that the building has to be able to keep that building optimized, I have to weave that data together. And that's where the platform comes in, and that's why we work so close together.
Yeah, the advantage of bringing in JCI's 140 years of domain experience, right? Having been in buildings, done HVAC controls, security systems, fire systems for so long, and then layering technology on top, right? We always collected a lot of data. Now we are in the world where we are translating that data into insights, into actionables, applying AI on top of it, right? So the mix of the technology platform and then the layer of domain on top, and then having the services globally to actually help our customers execute on it is where our joint value proposition, right, makes a huge difference.
Right. And I think the difference too is everybody knows the Johnson Controls name.
Yeah.
You've been around a long time. Johnson Controls is well known for their equipment, for their controls, for their chillers and their, but a more holistic approach, the more building solution side, maybe they don't know quite as well. And so you guys are really seeming to wrap your arms around all the different aspects of what is needed in a building and all the different areas in which you touch building automation and efficiency and energy management. And really looking at how you can take that to the next level.
Yeah, that's a great point, Lisa. And what we see our customers struggle with is, hey, we can look at our cooling systems, we can look at our control systems, we can monitor occupancy, we can monitor indoor air quality, but give us a pane of glass where we can use these intersecting outcomes to drive real action. Right, that's where the magic happens, right? So that transition, and also simplifying the experience, right? With the emphasis on decarbonization, the emphasis on mitigating the difficulty in finding skilled labor, right? I think that's where we are making a difference, right? By using technology to the right extent.
Right.
And just to extend your thought, Vineet, I would say in addition to all the great stuff that you said, the core for us as owner-operators of our assets is how do we let people know that the asset is working for their benefit? To be able to do that, you really have to change your mindset from going into proactive maintenance into predictive maintenance, right? We talk about predictive maintenance a lot, but predictive maintenance for us should also includes predicting the needs of the occupants in that space. And I think when we touched upon air quality has been a huge topic over the past couple of years, and it always has been important. But how do you make it mainstream so when a person walks into a space, you know the systems are working together to make that that space clean, safe, and to ensure the person has a pleasurable, delightful breathing experience. So this requires combination of data from multiple devices, from multiple sensors. In addition to that, efficiency is important. You have to know how to optimize and fine-tune these systems. That's where having a platform where we're able to see that, hey, looking at the crowd today, looking at the weather today, this is what the air quality is outside and inside. We would recommend and we would suggest these are the change to your operation parameters, knowing the impact on the efficiency of the building. Having the insight and the control to make those decisions so your building is always at its best is what we all look for. And that's what we get from a platform.
Mm-hmm. What do you think it is that tenants really expect from their buildings, from their places and spaces? And a lot of things are coming together. But what do you think are the expectations of tenant now post-COVID?
Yeah, the expectations keep evolving, right? So we are always meeting a goal that's shifting. But what's important to understand is that the demographics are different, right? Depending on what part of the world you are in, right? The age group, the type of work that's happening in the building, right? So adapting to these different industry verticals, right? And then having the right solution fits, right? So the example of indoor air quality and managing that along with energy, that's so critical for commercial real estate, for office spaces. But then for private equity investors, for REITs, it's also important for them to improve their asset value. Right, so balancing that need, right, of how the building comes across and the value of that building as an asset versus balancing it with occupant expectations, getting high value tenants, right? Again, that's so critical, right? So our technology lets them choose between different recommendations, and then where we see this as a stepping stone where the AI would have learned enough about their patterns and their needs to execute the cycle for them, right? So the future in front of us is autonomous buildings, right? Now, how that actually gets executed and how it impacts all of us as users, occupants of the building is what we look forward to, right, over the next few months.
And do those expectations change? You guys, Johnson Controls is a global company. Microsoft is a global company. Do the expectations change depending on the culturally? Are they different in different countries, or is that a big challenge for you?
So the point that you made, Vineet, on demographics, that probably is the foundation to how how I would answer the question. Different people have different needs in a building. These needs can be dictated by age, by requirements, cultural traits, geographic locations. Buildings are inclusive. Anybody can walk into a building. Buildings don't differentiate. You are welcome to walk into a building, but everybody has unique needs. How do you take those needs, analyze those needs, and create a service for that person? I mean, when we look around the conference center here, everybody has different needs, right? Some people want to sit, some people want to stand, some people are looking for fresh air, some people are searching for somebody else. How are you able to bring all that data together and create a unique experience catered to that individual? Now, if that individual has got cultural needs, or based on where the building is located, we've got geographic needs. Like in Vegas, it's hot. So we have higher cooling needs. You come down to Seattle, it's not as hot as it is here. Hence, the variation of the experience is required everywhere. And the beauty is, the human does not change. Based on where the human is and what the situation and background they're at, their experiential needs vary. So that's why the need for a building to be agile and to respond to any kind of a human being, no matter what age group that they belong to. That is the key. We have to meet the needs of all demographics and all tenants. Yep.
What do you think about whether technology companies are actually meeting the needs of the tenants? Do you think that they are meeting the expectations of the tenants?
I think we see a lot of discovery and rethinking happening around what those expectations mean, right? I mean, hybrid working is here to stay, right? So the needs again vary. I get more questions today about knowing when my colleagues are in office, and accordingly I'll plan my meetings and come in, than we ever did in the past, right? So the ability for the systems, the platform to adapt to those changing needs is what we see as the most critical aspect, and that's what OpenBlue has been designed for.
What do you? We're only have a couple of more minutes. My final question would probably be what is the top? I hate to say trend, but what is it that's coming down the pike in the next 12 to 18 months that you think is going to be transformative?
So as owner operators, the biggest trend is going to be focusing on making space attractive, and the attractiveness of space is going to be dependent on the experiential services that space would have. So people will be more than delighted to come and use that space. If it is lighting, if it is sound, if it is human engagement, if it is space type or space responses, all that underscored by an immense need of safety and security to ensure you are comfortable where you are, where people would love to collaborate because the space works for them.
Yeah. So building on his answer, right? How people interact with spaces is going to be, different. I mean, we hear about generative AI today, right? I mean, today primary experience are based on mobile kiosks or your laptops, right?
Right.
So in the future, creating more frictionless experiences is what we see happening. How again, it actually, turns into products is what we look forward to.
Okay. Well, thank you both for being
Thank you.
here. It was great chatting with you, Vineet, Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoy the rest of the conference, and thank you for being here.
Hey, Eric Stromquist here. We are at Realcomm Live. I got a couple of great guests. I am thrilled to introduce Kelly Spinola from Jones Lang LaSalle and Craig Lawson from JCI. And thanks for taking a few minutes to talk to us here on stage. I don't know about you, but I'm a little nervous. So, Craig, we'll start with you. You look like the serious one of the bunch.
Okay.
Talk about Johnson Controls and some of the solutions you guys are providing for your real estate customers right now.
Absolutely, Eric. First of all, thank you so much for having us. It's my pleasure to be here and represent JCI. So JCI has been singularly focused, particularly for the last 5 to 7 years, on enabling intelligent buildings. It's become a singular focus for the company. We find most of the customers here are looking for solutions that help them build smarter, healthier, more sustainable workplaces and outstanding occupant experiences for their employees and customers. So our digital platform for enabling that is called OpenBlue. So what's OpenBlue? So OpenBlue, first and foremost, is a purpose-built digital platform that's designed to enable intelligent buildings. So first key part of that is the word open. It was designed from its inception to be agnostic, vendor agnostic. It's not a JCI-specific capability, but rather it's a data platform that's very good at integration and ingestion of data. So regardless of what the source of data is, we support any vendor's BMS systems, different equipment packages, sensor packages, external data sources, third-party products, doesn't matter. We can pull all that data in, normalize it, and get it into a common schema. We happen to use Brick to make that data very usable and provide a common platform for a global portfolio of buildings. On top of that data, we've built a suite of applications that are focused again on sustainability, occupant experience, healthy buildings, and they heavily leverage artificial intelligence, machine learning, and other types of algorithms to provide unique, valuable insights into customers' building portfolio to achieve the goals aforementioned.
Very, very cool. Well, Kelly, how does that translate to you guys on the real estate side?
Yeah, sure. So having access to that data is tremendously valuable to us. We are working very hard to embed the use of the data, the technology, and the tools like OpenBlue into the way we operate. And we see it providing value across the full value chain of corporate real estate services. So first and foremost, real-time data it provides. It helps our teams be faster, more efficient, and really deliver better outcomes for the buildings we manage. And that can be across HVAC and lighting and electrical equipment, and where we can respond faster, we can show up with the right materials and tools, and ultimately get things done quicker, cheaper, with avoiding truck rolls. And from there, we're able to use all of the data that we get from these systems to deliver more flexibly and dynamic in the spaces. So data about occupancy is helping us be more flexible in how we deliver cleaning, for example, for how we manage food services. And getting that into the hands of the people that are on site delivering the services is tremendously valuable, and we're able to capture all of that and report it forward for what it's delivering. And then if we take that data over the long term, so weeks, months, years, it is allowing us to use really micro level data to help drive macro level decisions. So we've never had that access before. So we're able to use it to inform our occupancy strategy, our portfolio strategy, capital planning. And given the world we're in now, having that data is needed because it's not static, like repeat what you did last year, right? So we see tremendous value and growing adoption across our client base.
Oh, so cool. And, Craig, sort of getting back to you, I mean, it seems like things have changed so much just since before COVID. I've been a Johnson distributor for many, many years, and just the controls and the technology has changed. But what have you seen since COVID in terms of what your customers are asking for you?
Yeah, so a lot of it is around trying to adapt to the new hybrid workplace, right? So they're all looking for good data to help them make better decisions in a variety of different areas. The first area probably is, how do we get good data to rationalize our portfolio, and if considering downsizing, make sure that the buildings we do invest in or modify meet the needs of our customers going forward. So it's got whole new needs for data. So typically they're looking for, getting sensors in place to understand occupancy, activity, social distancing, a whole different variety of applications. But they need good analytics on top of that to help them understand how to utilize that data and make good decisions about what their overall real estate portfolio needs to look forward, because the remaining buildings obviously have to be optimized to the needs, and they need good data to help them support that. So it's a type of data they're typically not used to managing, and it requires new data sources. So the combination of these new sensors and the analytics that companies like JCI can provide is a part of the answer.
No, for sure. And then the other thing too that's affecting all of us is ESG, especially the environmental side of it. Kelly, how are you seeing that? Because I know Jones Lang LaSalle has always been very, energy efficient, sustainable, but how are you seeing this new technology help you guys with that mission?
So to the point of it going across the whole value chain, it's really helping us deliver more sustainability across everything we do, whether it's operating equipment more efficiently, finding error or finding issues early so that we can fix them and not pull more energy. It's also helping us get data about who's in the space so that we can close floors, we can adjust the controls, we can not use cleaning supplies if spaces haven't been used. And it ultimately feeds in, like I said before, into portfolio strategy, occupancy strategy, and we're able to track all of that and report it out because we're all getting closer to those targets that seemed far out before, but they're coming quickly.
Right. Well, it seems like it's really become part of the brand now, right? You have to have sort of part of your marketing brand strategy, some way to show that you're being a good citizen, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think we live it at JLL, and then it's a part of every conversation we have with a client.
Yeah, very, very cool. All right, Craig, well, you mentioned artificial intelligence, the A word. So talk about how you see that changing control strategies and using data.
Yeah, well, that's it's an exciting topic that I think everybody, in all honesty, is getting their head around because it's developing so rapidly. But I'll say that we think we already have numerous applications where we're applying it, we're investing in it heavily. One example of that might be we find companies who are trying to find a good balance between their energy consumption and carbonization goals for a building, but they're also trying to balance that with the need for good occupant comfort and air quality. And oftentimes those three objectives are at odds, right? You need more energy to push more air, more filtration. So they're trying to figure out, how do I really operate this building when I have three objectives that aren't necessarily aligned? So it's a good application for AI where we can take historical data from that, run simulations against it, but also take real-time data to actually drive the operation, the set points of the building as it goes through the day, to use the real-time data to adjust that simulation and optimize the performance of the building based upon the defined objectives of that customer, whether they lean towards one of those three things. And adjust it as the day goes on, because oftentimes, it's hard to predict. You may be sponsoring a large event in the building, and turnout turns out to be larger than you expected. You have people counters, turns out you're 20% over the people that you expected. People decide to leave earlier than you expected. So you're halfway through Craig's talk at Realcomm, and people decided to get up and go. So be able to make those adjustments on the go to optimize those variables is a great application for AI that we think we're at the forefront of.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. And Kelly, you know that indoor air quality is so important, especially since COVID. Well, I mean, one way to do indoor air quality is you just keep the air conditioning running 24/7, but that doesn't help the bottom line very much. So are you seeing that this is helping to keep, or Craig's talking about using artificial intelligence and the building automation system as a way to...
Absolutely, because all of the objectives that Craig mentioned, everyone has them, and they're almost equal, right? So you can't just say, well, I'm going to focus on one and not the other. So finding that balance is absolutely necessary, and everyone has to do it without an increased budget. So using the technology is really the only way to be able to achieve all of those objectives without constantly growing your capital and operating expense.
You know, and thank goodness the technology is just getting better and better, right?
Yeah.
So it's exciting times we live in, isn't it?
Sure is.
Yeah. So any final thoughts before we let somebody else come up and have the stage?
I'll say I'm really excited for this type of technology to become the norm and the mainstream into how our buildings operate instead of it being something to pilot. I'm really excited for it to be used at scale as a standard. I think we're getting there.
Very cool. And as a citizen, I appreciate what you guys are doing with this. And, you know, Craig, obviously, I mean, I've known Johnson Controls forever. Really love the journey you guys are on and what you guys are doing. So keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, Eric. Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Thanks, sir.